Hi everyone, this is Cyra. I'm one of the team at Medics Money and I'm a doctor and a chartered accountant. And I'm here because I have been dragging out International Women's Day. I can't help it. It's there's a lot more we need to know about other than sort of tokenistic Happy International Women's Day. So I want to actually put it and fill it with meaningful things. And the one thing I'm going to talk about today is why it's more expensive to be a woman. And you might wonder, why do I have not much money left at the end of the month? Why I'm trying my best. I'm spending the minimum I need to spend, and I'm still not able to save as much. Why? Why is that the case? Well, it's because it's intrinsically more expensive to be a woman. What I'm going to touch on today is not, it's a tip of the iceberg. It's even worse. So, first of all, there are biological reasons why it's more expensive for us. We have periods, and so we have to buy period products. They're expensive. There was VAT on them. They were considered a luxury, but now thankfully that's been taken off, and so they're no longer VAT. They don't have applied VAT, but we still have to spend quite a lot of money on period products. And for us, it's not just about trying to find the cheapest period product, because getting the right period product is so important for us to actually live our lives normally. So, yes, we do spend money on that. We live longer, which is great, but then also we need more money to live. And so our money runs out sooner than men because men don't live as long as us. Also, evidence shows that if a woman is married, her life expectancy goes down because she's looking after the man. Um, just a fun fact there. Um, I think it's going to be the other way around for me because my other half does look after me a lot. He's lovely. Um, Next thing, bras and clothing, just generally. So we need to buy different kinds of clothing. Our clothing needs to be of a certain quality for comfort. It is not built. So our clothing is not built to be robust. It's meant to look pretty. And as a result, it doesn't last as long. Things that we need, like bras and underwear, those are so expensive actually. And just a little cheeky point here, our mums don't buy them for us when we're grown-ups for Christmas. So we have to buy them ourselves. Next, I've put things like painkillers, tablets. We have to buy supplements because we are less likely to be able to absorb things, because we are more likely to have autoimmune diseases as women. And so, because of that, we're more likely to be on medication, we're more likely to be on painkillers, going back to the periods. So, that also adds to our costs. We tend to feel colder than men, so our heating costs can be a little bit higher. And with the hot water bottle, again, it's our heating costs plus the fact that we have periods, the fact that we may have more autoimmune diseases, more joint pain, and as a result, we need to use more energy to keep ourselves warm and to treat those conditions. So, biologically, it's more expensive for us anyway. But then there's the pink tax, not making it any easier. So, having to buy the same things as a man is more expensive. So razors that are aimed at women, literally that are just pink versus black or blue, are 49% more expensive than men's. Skincare aimed at women can be at least 34% more expensive, but it can go up into the hundreds. Some of the skincare that's aimed at us is ridiculous. And on top of that, we have to actually buy that skincare because marketing has told us that there's something wrong with us if we don't have good skin, whereas men are less likely to have that kind of marketing aimed at them. They have the same wash. They have literally one wash that is aimed at their face and their body and their hair, and that's what marketing aims at them. Whereas for us, we have to have a million different types of shampoos, an eye cream and a moisturizer and a serum and an SPF. And then on, oh my goodness, the marketing that's aimed at us tells us that we need to buy this more expensive the skincare and toiletries. And then on top of that, it's more expensive anyway. Perfumes are at least £20 more expensive. So if you go with the same brand and they have Pour Femme and Pour Homme, £20 more for the Pour Femme, same size bottle, just different fragrance, £20 more. That's a pink tax. Clothing aimed at women is more expensive, there's more marketing towards them, and they're less likely to last long, they're less robust. So, for example, Levi's charge women 46% more jeans in the same waist and leg than they do for men's. Why? I mean, it's nonsensical. Women are charged more for haircuts. Have you noticed that? Hairdressers charge more for women's haircuts, regardless of length of hair. Men can go in and get their haircuts for about £10, maybe a bit more now. But women have to pay 30, £40 for the exact same thing. Women are just charged more because they are women. Then there's the gender pay gap. I'm sure you've heard about this a lot, and there's a lot of factors that feed into the gender pay gap. So let's just start with an even playing field. If women working full time versus men working full time earn an average 8.9% less. That's without anything like leave, maternity leave, all of those things, going less than full time. Women are paid less with a like for like comparison. Women of color are paid even less. The gender pay gap is even more. So if you're an Asian woman, you'll be paid 26.2% less, whereas as a black woman, 19.6% less than your male counterpart doing the exact same hours, the exact same job. In addition to that, we take more hits. So things like women have to take pauses in their employment to raise children. As a result, they take more hits in terms of both the income that they make at the time, but also the pension that they accrue. Then they have longer life expectancies. So with the pension that they do accrue, the money runs out sooner and the savings run out because they end up having to fund that life that they do live for longer. So the gender pay gap has a huge myriad of causes, but coming down to the crux of it, for like, we are paid less than our male counterparts. We do the same damn job, probably a little bit harder because I will come to it. Women have to work twice as hard to be taken just as seriously as men, but we are paid less for it. This takes us, oh, I'm going to go to the grooming gap. Maybe I should have done the grooming gap first and then the next one, but we'll go to the grooming gap. So the expectations of us from society to be groomed in a certain way is more so for women than men. So women, the hair, don't even get me started on hair removal. Women are expected to remove hair practically everywhere. And it's considered ugly or unnatural to have hair where we naturally grow it. So as a result, we spend a lot of money on hair removal. We spend a lot of money on, like we talked about, moisturizers and creams and toiletries. We actually spend a lot of money now on injectables. So things like Botox, fillers, skin rejuvenation, all of those things, women are now turning to those to have a more dramatic and more effective result on their skincare. And as a those things are expensive. They are not cheap at all. But we have to also have things like supplements, so like B12 injections, all of those things. Women are having to spend more money on that. I don't do my nails personally, but if a woman wants to do her nails, they're quite expensive to do your nails. So, things like having that added to your budget. Makeup, yes, men wear makeup, but I would like to argue that women spend more on makeup, I think, on average. And makeup can be quite expensive. And I would like to talk to a woman who doesn't have a ton of makeup just sitting there that they've tried, didn't like, and then that money's gone. And so marketing keeps throwing at us that we need this new product, this new foundation, this new eyeshadow, and it's going to make our lives completely different. It's going to change things for us. But unfortunately, we end up with all this makeup and toiletries just sitting there, because marketing has told us we need to try it and it's going to change our lives, and then it doesn't live up to the promise. Things like surgery. Women are more likely to get plastic surgery than men are, and their plastic surgery is also more likely to be more expensive than men's as well for the equivalent surgery. So that adds to the cost. Things like electronics for hair for all over. So there could be electronic hair removal. There could be electronic hair products, things like straighteners, curling tongs, all of those things. Even our shampoos are more expensive. So for the same equivalent shampoo for a woman, there are first of all a whole load of different types, whereas men are given sort of two choices. And then those choices themselves are more expensive for women than men. So the point here is societal norms have made women need to groom themselves more than men, but the products available to groom themselves are also more expensive than for men as well. Well, for women and men. And then there's the gender gap in negotiation, and I found this very fascinating. So single women are going to pay 2% more for the same house and sell their house for 2% less because they are penalized for having tried to negotiate in the first place. If a woman tries to negotiate, she gets punished for it, and how dare she do that? If a man tries to negotiate, it's like, okay, yeah, he's giving it a go, ambitious. Again, that takes us back to the negotiation gap. And the same thing works for pay and pay rises. So when a man accepts a new job, for him to negotiate a good pay packet and a good pay rise, that is rewarded. Whereas if a woman tries to negotiate, she's penalized for it. The job is probably more likely to be removed from her. She's less likely to try it in the first place. So all of these things are against us when it comes to trying to just live in the world. Life is more expensive for us. If you found that fascinating, do let me know. Just get in touch with me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching and listening.